Howdy ho there, Y2PC. Hope you guys are doing well. Easy Embers here, back inside the house in the office. Flush with treasures from Muletown. Well, flush is a bit dramatic, but then again, what's life without a little bit of drama? This was my third trip to Muletown, and I really enjoyed it. I really did. Me and the wife had a wonderful weekend away. And I remember what it was like for me whenever I first was getting interested in going to Muletown. I wanted to grab up as many videos as I possibly can to see what it was like, to help plan out my trip and everything, because I wanted to maximize the time. And I was going on my own, and I was just trying to make the most of it as like a little side trip just for myself. And I had a great time. I was in and out in seconds though. So, and from that I've kind of learned a few things. This video is probably not the best for those of you who are trying to see stuff, because I took 0 pictures. Yeah, I took 0 pictures. And that's just kind of where I'm at right now. Me and the wife, we enjoy spending time together, and it's kind of become a habit of ours to not take a whole lot of photos and pictures. And we have to kind of remind ourselves that, hey, we may want to look back on this, but we're so caught up in just soaking in the moment a lot of the time that we forget, and I forgot. So for those of you that are wanting to see what it looks like, this is not the video, but I am going to tell you about it a little bit. Like I said, this is my third visit, and each of them have been fantastic for a little bit of different reasons. This one in particular, I had some missions that I wanted to accomplish. First off, I wanted to show the wife what everything was like, because she's never been to a show. Secondly, I wanted to change out one of my pipes. I wanted to get a new pipe, perhaps a different shape, and I had a pipe, the one I talked about, the Peterson, that I just didn't grab. And so a pipe's not really good if you're not going to use it, in my opinion. So let's get something that I'm going to enjoy using. And then number 3, I wanted to meet as many of the people that I watch on YouTube that was going that I possibly could. And I think I was able to do that. Although with number 3, if there was any one regret that I had, it was that although I got to meet lots of people, I did not get a whole lot of time to sit down and talk with you. I was running on a bit of a tight schedule. We got there late and we had to leave early. So there's that. But let's dive into just quickly talking about it. We traveled after work on Friday. So that in itself put us at kind of like starting later. We didn't arrive at Muletown Friday night until about 8:30. And we did have a very smooth entrance in because of 2 friends that came with me from the Appalachian Ember Society. So thank you, gentlemen, if you are watching this. They set us up really great with an amazing, nice little hotel, and had a little spot for us. And so we got to sit out on the porch and smoke a pipe and talk about some tea that me and the wife have been working on and blending. And they were ever so kind as to give us our early check-in for us and pick up what I hoped to get a container of. This is the new Muletown mixture. I'm sure that if you do a little digging around, other people are going to be showing this off, and they're probably going to be able to help you more about knowing what it tastes like, because I didn't open mine yet, and I'm gonna let it ride for a little bit. But I can read to you what the description says, and I can tell you what I smelled. Old House Number 3 is a tribute to the long history of the tobacco industry in our hometown of Columbia and Middle Tennessee. A blend of 6 Virginias and 3 aged Burleys, including 18-year-old, no longer available, Green River Valley Leaf. The blend also features added notes of vanilla, cocoa, and molasses. A 2026 Muletown Pipe Show exclusive, and I got 10 245 of 288. I can tell you this, that it smelled really good. There was several people who offered to let me have a bowl of it, and because of timing, I was like, I'd like to, but I can't right now. I'm sorry. Um, and one of these days I'll break into it. But I recommend hearing from somebody else about the flavors and what they're tasting. Something that was not mentioned that I smelled in it was some kind of like a bourbon or whiskey sort of note in there too. It wasn't mentioned in the description, but I think I detected something in there. So that, maybe that's up your alley. It's definitely going to be a sweeter blend, I think, than some of the previous years. But I'm not going to open mine because I've still got some of the previous years. I really like this stuff. This is the Smoky Mountain Flake from last year, and I've still got to get through the rest of it before I open up the next one. But yeah, I've tried to get that blend every year because I bought the second year and the first year, and then didn't like either one of those super great, and so I've used them to kind of mix in some other stuff. Don't get me wrong, Jeremy nailed the term hay bale. It is literally like sticking your head inside a hay bale. That's what it tastes like. But I skipped because of how I didn't like the first 2 years. I skipped the third year, and then lo and behold, the third year was delicious. It was like Perique. It was an extra measure of Perique added in, and it was great. And so I was like, dang it. So I kind of missed out on that one. So then the fourth year, I went and got the Smoky Mountain one and got that. So, and now I'm going to pick up this one. So that's kind of where that's at. But yeah, Friday night we had a good time. I did get to meet some great people and even at least one or two nefarious characters, if you know who I'm talking about. Man, the people that I remember, because I talked to a lot of them, and I just didn't get to spend a lot of time. People that I saw that I was expecting and those that I didn't. Papa Bear Gary, Porch Piper Tom, met some new people like Captain Burley Slice. I had not subscribed to Captain Burley Slice, I don't think. I have now corrected that. I have done penance for my sin there, because he's just a stellar guy, just stand-up guy, very nice fella. And George Tony and Gent, Carolina Kirk, I got to see, although I didn't get to talk with Sow Dog. I saw Dwayne Knoll. There's these different people here that I love listening to and watching for various reasons and keeping up with. And there was other people that I recognized, but I didn't get to talk with. There was some artists there. I think her name's Gracie that works with. Oh gosh, I can't think of their name now. Appalachian Customs, maybe, or something. I don't know. There were so many people and so many things, and I just like I said, my one regret is that I didn't get to stay for longer and get to talk with people. But for those of you who've not gone, there is not a whole lot of seating, which brings us to Saturday. So Saturday, I was a man on a mission. And there was a lot of people. Me and the other buddy that went and has been here before, both of us kind of agreed this was a smaller crowd, but it couldn't have been by too much. There was plenty of room to walk around, but it was still tight, and boy, it got hot in that place. It was crazy hot in there, and so we did the best we could. Me and the wife got in line, and we started looking around, and I was able to trade in my Peterson at the Redeemed Pipes table for this true horn. Now, I don't really, at least in my opinion, I didn't have a true horn, but this guy was available, and I really like it. It's going to be my St. Patrick's Day pipe, and I know the light isn't always the best for this, but I mean, it's got some really cool grain on here, and it's a really unique shape, and it fits in the hand really good, and I like it already. I like it a lot, and I'm going to enjoy smoking this one a lot more than the Peterson, so I'm going to call that a win right there. But if you haven't run into Redeemed, he's very nice and very helpful and gave me some good store credit. on that. So I was able to get the pipe changed out. That's good. Got to meet with people. That's good. Get to see all that. There was a third thing that I was looking for after exchanging the pipe, and that was tobacco. Typically, whenever you go to Muletown, or at least whenever I go to Muletown, it's one of the best spots to see a wide arrangement of pipes and pipe makers. That's what I go for, and that's what I think of whenever I think Muletown is pipes. But this year they also had some different tobacco selections, which they haven't had, at least in my experience in the past, haven't always had a super large range of them. But the Pipery was able to hook me up with a couple of blends that I have never seen, or have seen but haven't ever got to try, like this one, Broken Scotch Cake, a blend of flue-cured let me restart, pardon. A blend of flue and sun-cured Virginias in a coarse cut, pressed tobacco that is cool and slow burning. So I know nothing about this. I've never heard of it before. I saw it and I was like, I really like Gawith and Hogarth, and I'm sure I would like that too. In fact, that's some of what I'm smoking right now, is Gawith and Hogarth St. James flake. Yeah. And then this too, I had seen a review done by Beans, I think, a long time ago about Petey, Kentucky, but did not have the opportunity to pick some of this up. It's a small batch, and so I was really interested. I'm really spending a lot of time with Kentuckys and Orientals right now. So I was like, rope cut? Yeah, I'm curious. I'm down. Let's find what this is all about. And Fourth Generation, I like their bulk blends really good. So I went ahead and grabbed me some of that. So that was nice. And then me and the wife spent time looking around at some other pipes. We kind of debated back and forth. Should I go for this? She found one that she kind of liked, but it was pretty expensive. And so, it's a back and forth. But it was just fantastic. For anyone who's not gone, it's worth a shot. You need to go there just to see the people, but then you get to see all the cool pipes, and then you get to go and occasionally run into some really cool characters that'll share all this stuff because everyone's generous, and it's just a great time. It's just really a great time. So, yes, if you have not gone and you're watching this to find out if you should go, you should go. I might recommend bringing a lawn chair, because like I said, there was not any seating. After we spent time in the hot box, and it was very hot, and we got some merch, like a nice little hat, t-shirt here, and I got me a nice little mug, or not a mug, but one of those tumblers. I got a cool tumbler to use for my coffee and tea and all of that. After doing all that, it was so hot, me and the wife took a break out back, and we went outside and sat on the stoop and just kind of let the wind blow through and kind of cool us down. I even had to eventually go and change hats because it started raining on us, and the wind picked up and it was blowing my hat away. That's another thing. If you have not gone to a Muletown show, it rains every year. At least every year that I've gone, it will rain at some point. And I didn't go to the first two, but I've heard from other people that's just an understood thing, that it will rain on you. So you might want to bring a rain jacket. I don't know why it works out that way, but it's gonna rain. And that does not stop the party at all. So yeah, after cooling down, changing out hats and everything, we went back into the lounge area, and I stood around. There was no seating. Stood around, tried to look for some familiar faces, but a lot of people were just going to different places, having lunch and everything like that. And so we ran out of time, and we had our fantastic niece, my fantastic niece, that is having her birthday party the next day. So we couldn't stay much longer, and we went ahead and we had to leave out. So my one takeaway is that I hope that next year and next time I get to be around so many good and amiable sorts of people, that I get to spend a little bit more time and less running here and there about everything. But glad to see everyone that was there, and thank you for being so welcoming to me and the wife. And as compliments and all that, I very much respect you guys, and I enjoy getting to see you. And I'm sorry I didn't get to talk with you for longer and all that, but that is what next time is for. There's things to look forward to and all of that. Before leaving, right at the time we were about to leave, there was one other thing that I wanted to do, and the wife was able to help me out with it, and that was chase down bad cat tobacco. And she was the one, my wife spotted him first, and I was like, man, I'm about to leave, but I'm seeing what you're advertising, and I've already tried 3 of his blends, as you've seen in some of my other videos. If you haven't watched that, go check it out, because those are like really quick, like first impressions, just firing off. I've spent a lot of time with those blends, and he's got 2 of them that I really like a lot. And he's a boutique blender. Kind of just started this on his own, so it was great to get to talk to him, but also to talk about his new blends that are coming out. He's got about 4 that he's got tinned up and that he will be selling before too long, and so I am looking forward to going through and giving like a deep dive into sampling some of these. He was very generous and very kind to give me some samples, and go ahead and tell you, I didn't take a sample of all of them. There was one of them that it sounded like more of a nicotine bomb for me, and I gotta be a little hesitant of the nicotine there. I'm a lightweight, but he cut me off some Cheshire Plug. He names everything after cats, and I love that. That's such a clever little marketing thing. This one he had was called Pure. I think he said it was Purveyor, but I think he was calling it Mufasa. I need to check in with him as I'm sampling that one to get the official name on that one. But another nice little flake here. Both of those were flakes. And then this one, he took a plug. It was a true like plug, and he pulled out a knife and went ahead and chopped off 2 flakes for me. But it's Shere Khan. This is the one that I saw advertised, and I was like, ooh, I think that's gonna be good. But those will be some videos in the future as I'm giving you kind of a deeper rundown, because I think he's going to be releasing those fairly soon, and maybe based on my humble opinion, you might get an idea of like, ooh, I may want to try that. But I really like his stuff because he really is boutique. It's an opportunity to try some very unique mixtures with some small batch, interesting leaf. So for those of you that are looking for a unique experience, you might want to check that out. But that's my Muletown experience, and it's great. It's fantastic. I hope I get to go back again. I think I will. I'm going to try to. Anyways, and hopefully get to spend a little bit more time. Try to maximize the time spent with the people, more so than, bouncing around to different stuff there. But one final note in this, and I thought this was really interesting. Like I said, it's the wife's first pipe show, and she walked away from it and she said multiple times, I enjoyed that. That was a nice time. The people there were very nice. And she said, I liked getting to see all the people that I've heard you talk about and everything like that. But the other thing that she said that was really interesting was, she said, I expected to be kind of overwhelmed with the smoke, but she said, I spent an entire day, like a day and a half, in a closed, confined space with tons of people smoking, and I didn't get a headache, and I didn't feel terrible. I didn't get feeling sick. And she said, and it didn't stink. That was pretty cool. I don't know. Have a hooked her? I don't know. I don't know. But either way, I appreciate her going with me. And I will see you guys on a future video, probably testing out some bad cat stuff. But in the meantime, take care. And if you get a chance to go, go. See you next time.